All right, everybody. Welcome. We are live and we are just, I believe, 11 days away from Stand and Deliver, NXT's biggest show of the year on WrestleMania weekend. And so we are just waiting patiently for this week's NXT to arrive. By the way, if you're brand new here, welcome. I'm your host, Marked by Wrestling, and we're going to have a good time tonight. So, as always, you want to know why we're called Marked by Wrestling? Let's share the mantra, shall we? Being a mark just means you believe, and believing makes wrestling better. So let's respect each other, share some good thoughts, have a great time, and eat well, metaphorically speaking, as NXT begins. We got a great lineup tonight. We don't even know the whole card yet. Usually they give us more matches that they announce. But we're having a big six-man tag. DarkState enters the ring for the first time, and they're going to be taking on the trio of Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans. Also, we're getting Jordan Grace versus Miss Parker, and we are starting off NXT with La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer.
My decision after this match.
Okay. Stephanie pretty much cluing us into it's either going to be Jada Parker or Jordan Grace, and maybe whoever wins the match tonight is going to be her opponent for Stand and Deliver. All right, Justin Allen Crane, welcome to the party, man. Stand back. Marked by Wrestling is coming through. Okay. The champion enters the arena in her what was I going to say? What am I trying to say? Her casual wear for the evening, just wearing jeans and rocking that title. So looks like she's going to be ringside for our first matchup, which is going to be Jordan Grace versus Miss Parker, Jada Parker. So we can all but assume this is an unofficial number one contenders match for the NXT Championship. And Jordan Grace, here she comes. Big Mama Pump, first one out tonight. Ready for a fight. Dulcie Chatham, hey, good to see you, man. Good, glad to have you with us. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Time for NXT, and we're going to get things cracking. Jordan Grace isn't dressed like a Power Ranger, but she's kind of got that green and gold trim look that gives me some Tommy, Green Ranger vibes. Although the green's a little darker than his was. All right, let's judge the crowd here. Miss Parker getting those chants, man. She is the NXT faithful love her. Sophie Dopey, welcome to the chat. Good to see you this evening. Sophie just cutting Sophie. Jada just cutting promos with no mic. So I did not hear that Disney Plus was going to reboot Power Rangers. That's interesting. They did that. Gosh, has it been almost 10 years since they did that reboot film? It's been a minute now. Okay. We're off. And Jordan starts with a double leg takedown, but they are already rolling and throwing hands. They're already out of the ring. Now, this is already starting off a little out of control. Oh, Stephanie's on commentary. Sophie, are you going to be around for WrestleMania Stand and Deliver weekend before you go on vacation, or are you going to already be gone at that point? So, yeah, Stand and Delivers next Saturday, guys. We're just a little over a week away. What do you guys think of the possibility of there being another triple threat here, because I feel like we're triple threaded out for Mania weekend as it is. You know, Dossie, you and I having the same idea. You know, Dossie, I'm gonna go ahead and throw your chat up here. Are we getting another triple threat, or will we have a winner? You know, that I was thinking about that the way the match started, that it definitely had some this could be a triple threat vibes. I won't say they booked themselves into a corner, but I really think that I feel like the way they've done things, man, Jordan is so strong. She's got, man, she had Jada up in Alabama Slam position, but it's been reversed. Now we're in pile driver position. They're on the apron. Well, Jada's got her up in a fireman's carry. Oh, tosses her back in the ring, but she stun guns herself on the top. Yikes. I feel like we need to have a definitive winner. I'm not going to complain if we get another triple threat, but it does seem a little old hat at this point, you know, with WrestleMania and the multi-man matches and all that stuff. So I hate to see either of these women lose, but I think one of them needs to. Maybe even via shenanigans. We'll see. George, welcome to the chat, man. Good to see you. Sophie, your thoughts on AEW pay-per-view Sunday? Saw a lot of fans are negative towards it. I am going to bookmark your comment, and we will come back to that during commercial break. Good questions, because we're going to chat some other things up during commercial break, but I will come back to that for sure. Tell you what, man, this crowd is so invested in this match so far. Oh, but she's high stepping out of the corner. Tell you what, man, this crowd loves Jada, as we are now in picture-in-picture. Crowd absolutely loves Jada, and why shouldn't they? She's great. Okay, so yeah, there are plenty of single matches at WrestleMania. That being said, we have one of the main events is a triple threat match, and also the women's. Sorry, I just changed the channel. I got to go back and find it. But one of the women's, you know, and the women's world title match is also a triple threat. So it's not so much that the card is all triple threat matches, but they're two very high profile matches. So I think just in that regard, it feels like overkill for NXT to have theirs as well be that way. So yeah, that's just what I think. But okay, we're back at it now. Okay, great. So yeah, now back to your thoughts. My thoughts on AEW's pay-per-view on Dynasty. Yeah, there's a lot of negativity, and I think so much of that negativity comes with how they've been closing the shows. And they still have some good matches on the undercard. I feel like I'll have to do some kind of long form video at some point on my thoughts on AEW in general. But I will say I don't think they're closing their shows well. First of all, they're doing what the old WrestleManias of a few years ago, before they went to 2 nights, were doing, in having a really long card. And so everybody's tired. And at that point, you want to send people home happy. And so this whole cliffhanger thing of like, we're going to continue the Death Rider story. There's a difference between a heel being the world champion and the crowd just like not buying into the story. And I think it feels like it's more of the latter with the fan base, with Moxley and all those guys. And yeah, they seem to be misstepping, or at least it's not being received super well. And adding the Young Bucks to that equation for me is just like channel changer material. I don't have any interest in the Young Bucks whatsoever, just personally. They're just not for me, you know. I'm not in their demographic. So I understand like the Ricochet Speedball Omega match was really good. If that is your kind of preferred fandom for what you think makes a good match. And I'm not saying that it's not. I just like, for people who really dig that style of wrestling, I'm sure they really love that. And there's some other interesting developments coming out of there that we'll see. Looks like they're going to do Omega and Okada again. That could definitely be money for sure. And they got the Owen tournament continuing as well. So, and Adam Cole finally has a belt, which is nice. But yeah, I feel like somebody asked too. Oh yeah, we're back now, back from picture in picture as the match continues. And Sophie asked, "What do you think they'll do with Randy Orton for Mania?" I don't know. I think it would be a lot of fun for Nick Aldis to dust off his boots. But if they're just going to, I see three possible scenarios, and none of them feel picture perfect for me. One is Nick Aldis. Jada looking for a tombstone, but are we going to get a reversal? And Jordan, wow. She muscled up Jada into a tombstone position. Wow. I don't even know what to call that. Instead of dropping her in a tombstone, she just flipped her backwards and threw her like an inverted suplex. Ladies are getting a well-deserved breather now. Randy could be facing Aldis, which would be fun. He could also face a returning Aleister Black, although there wouldn't be much build for that at all. And putting Randy in that position seems a little weird. And then lastly, you would have to work. You would have to put some work in these last 2 weeks. But with Kevin Owens being the one who's gone, if you could work your way into it, you could slide Sami Zayn in there. It would require some promo work and some development. And I don't know that Sami would necessarily have to be a heel either, but I think that's doable, Randy and Sami. But I don't know. George says, I don't think Jada needs this one. She already had 2 opportunities. Let someone else get a shot. Yeah, I mean, the prestige of the title match is going to be at its highest level coming into Stand and Deliver, which is their WrestleMania. And I feel like Jordan's title shot would be at that caliber, excuse me. So I could see her taking this match. We'll see what happens. But they're definitely going for it, these 2 ladies. Jordan is super. They're getting a "This is awesome" chant. Jordan is so strong because like Jada's not a rail thin woman. So she's like, she doesn't have a weight issue, but she's a big girl. Like when you see them next to each other, so just deadlifting Jada Parker will take some strength. Oh, misses that hip check. She's going to be rolling out of the ring. Yeah, and you're right, Sophie. Oh, no. Okay, we had a little bit of a mishap there. Jordan went for a suicide dive, but her leg got caught on the rope on the way out, and she, lands short. Oh, Jada gets bumped into Stephanie, and Stephanie pushes her off and gets slapped. And now, oh boy, we're going for triple threat, aren't we? We're going for triple threat. We've got a double DQ because Stephanie has thrown hands on both women. There we go. Now we got, Julia's back. Julia is back, fresh off of her title loss to Stephanie. And she's throwing hands on Jada and Jordan. So what does this mean? 3 Diglets, welcome to the chat, dude. Julia returns, and so does 3 Diglets at the same time. Oh, and Julia returns with a headbutt to Stephanie. Okay. Well, Stephanie said she thought she would know her contender after this match. And I mean, if they're going to build, it's going to have to be a fatal four-way because they've only got one more NXT. Oh, Julia posing with the belt with her boot on Stephanie's face. Does this count as a heel turn? Is this a heel turn? Or is it just, I want the title back? Because putting your boot on the woman's face is a little disrespectful. Man. Okay, I think we're going to get a rewind of Ricky Saint's big title win last week. But it does look like we may be headed for a fatal four-way. Now tell me, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker. That's a wild matchup. And also, it seems like what we got here is an elevation of Miss Parker. Because if you go back to Jordan's debut, permanent debut on NXT, I mean, she'd been dipping in because of all the, what have you, all the TNA relationships and stuff. But when she came back full time, she was when she showed up for that debut, it was her, Stephanie, and Julia all in the ring together. So to add Jada to that mix is a stamp of approval if I've ever seen one on Jada Parker as a single. So so far, looks like that might be the matchup we get for Stand and Deliver. So we could be having a fatal four-way women's heavyweight title match. We already know we're getting the ladder match for the North American title, which we should get two more competitors qualified for that tonight as well, although those matchups haven't yet been announced. But we've already got two in there from last week. We've got Zarya, and we've got who else won? She beat Roxy, Kalani and Zarya so far. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Ricky Saints wins the North American title, gets jumped by Ethan Page, and the crowd chants Tony fumbled at the top of their lungs. Hard to argue with, to be honest. But Ricky Saints is live tonight. Oh, and here's Hank and Tank. Let's see who tries to give them something now. Oh, gosh. Yeah, seriously, Diglets. Swipe Right is they're from Evolve, and they also look like they're straight out of trying to destroy the local rec center for the wealthy developers in town from every 80s kids movie there ever was. I think they look like the bullies from the Goonies, Cobra Kai, and One Crazy Summer all put together. Yeah. Finally, Hank and Tank are like, you know what? We don't need advice from those guys. They've been taking advice from everybody so far, but even they have a ceiling. All right, Fraxium in the house. Do love their entrance. I love that effect. There's not a lot of special effect entrances anymore. Throws me back to the old John Morrison slow motion entrance. It's a lot of fun. So, George, when you say Jada Parker getting the pin, you mean taking the pin? Like out of the four of them? I definitely think she's going to get pinned. Oh, it's another Triple H retrospective for the Hall of Fame coming up. Triple H deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame by himself. But also, boy, it was really quick. And I know that, and it seems like it wasn't really his call, that they sort of did it behind his back. But could we have given it a year at least? It's a little wild that we put him in before we put in, say, a Bray Wyatt or many people. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of it all. me mute for a second. I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay, so the Hall of Fame is next Friday. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The Hall of Fame is that being televised? Because it's not happening in the same building as SmackDown. So I guess it's going to happen like later in the night after SmackDown's over. Um, I'm curious if that'll be televised, even if it's just on Peacock or something. I am curious about that and see what we've got to do with all that. Let's see. All right, back on commercial, guys. Yeah, well, George, we did get Stephanie and Julia one-on-one earlier in that title match, but maybe they'll have another one. Something tells me that they're not done with each other yet. So we'll see what happens from there. By the way, everybody, just while we're on commercial, we're still working our way to super chatting and getting a super chat championship, just like our brother and sister channels. But meanwhile, in the meantime, you can support the channel this way. And if I get your notification here, I'll be glad to give you a super chat on the screen and call your attention to it and put you over as any good lover of wrestling would. Now, here's a question. Last night we saw if you were watching Raw, we saw the spear of a lifetime from Braun Breaker on Juan Carlito, who had the sense of humor to tweet today funeral arrangements for his own funeral coming up on Friday. But tell me, what are some of the most memorable spears you have ever seen? Would love to hear your thoughts on that while we're on commercial break. So let me have them. Best spears that you know. Let's see what you got. And while you're gathering your thoughts, I gotta say, one of the best ones I can remember was, gosh, now I'm trying to remember. You know who really sold a good spear was Nunzio. Nunzio sold the heck out of a Goldberg spear in WWE. I was trying to think of a WCW spear that he did, but man, he just absolutely sold it like death, which, I mean, he probably was half dead, to be honest, because Goldberg didn't really have a good working spear. I think he just hit you like he wanted to kill you. So Diglets, I think that might have been in the Royal Rumble, maybe, like I want to say the 04, maybe the 04 Rumble, if I'm right. But I may be wrong. Maybe 04, 05. I think 04, because it would have been right before he and Brock both left and they got booed out of the building, which is a wildly entertaining match to watch, just to hear New York completely dump on both Brock Lesnar and Goldberg at the same time. Dossie Chatham said he speared the I need to learn Chinese out of him. Absolutely. Diglett's here saying the one that Braun Breaker did on Raw. Absolutely. That was the spear of a lifetime, dude. I mean, he was going full on Top Gun Maverick in there saying I was inverted. Like he was coming down out of the sky, like shot like a like shot like an arrow from a perched position, like he sniped him. It was so wild. Great spear. And again, Braun Breaker's speed in going into his spears really makes them really special. All right, Sophie, well, we hope to catch you every time you're around. Like a dang torpedo, that's right. Justin Allen Crane, Rhino, the gore. The gores were great. I think pre-folding of ECW, that ECW spear gore from Rhino was fantastic. Oh, Progressive Insurance presents The Culling. Now we're back.
Doesn't matter if he's in pain. Stop. I admire the passion. I do. Am I grateful that I won gold for the first time in my career here? That I'll be called a champion for the rest of my life? Yes.
Diglets also said, other than breakers, I'd say Rhino on The Rock. Forgot what year, but The Rock sold that beautifully. The Rock is one of the best sellers in the business when he wants to really lay out for somebody. There's nobody better. I always give him his flowers for that. That dude can sell. He understands selling. George Lewis is a brave man considering all this Braun Breaker talk we're doing, saying, I'm not a fan of Izzy Dane. She's not connecting. Be careful, George. You might be next on the spear list. Sophie had a couple of constructive things to say. The spear makes Roman's spear look like child's play. And what about Edge's spears? I'm not a fan of Edge Cope or Roman's spears that much. I don't think they really, them and Jay too, when it comes to the spear, there's a bit of and I understand it's like self-preservation, right? It's safety, but it's like it's almost like a side hug kind of spear, whereas Goldberg, Rhino, and Braun Breaker try to run through you. Like those guys try to run through you. And I don't believe the pain when it's Roman or Jay or Cope. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying it doesn't translate well on the screen. But man, and I think part of that too, especially for Braun, I don't know about Rhino, but Goldberg and Braun Breaker were both football players. So they hit you like football players. So they just go back to that place in their mind and just rip right through you. And I think that's part of it. Ticklets. If Edge ran through the opponent, I think he could get hurt. 100% correct. And especially, I mean, jokingly, amazing. Kudos to you. But also at the same time, with his neck, I don't blame him for not trying. Because I do remember Edge and Batista on a Battle Royal main event of Raw doing a like gunslinger, 10 paces, and they speared each other. And Batista got busted open hard way because they clocked heads. So that was nasty. You can probably find that on YouTube. I can't remember what year it was. It was in the Ruthless Aggression era for sure when it happened. But yeah, it was nasty. Dawsey, the Karate Kid antagonist, having a match tonight. Yeah, they get in the ring with the best tag team in wrestling right now, which is wild. Fraxium is just equal opportunity suicide dives for everybody. But yeah, Cobra Kai in the ring right now. Strike hard, strike first, no mercy. Not to be confused with Strike Force, Tito Santana and Rick Martel, who also deserves his spot in the Hall of Fame. Rick Martel for the Hall of Fame. AWA champion Rick Martel, WCW TV champion Rick Martel, Strike Force Rick Martel, and of course, the model, purveyor of the blindfold match, which I know people hate on, but hey, it was inventive for the time. The bottle of arrogance. So here we go. Dives aplenty. Equal opportunity dives. What did I tell you guys? Fraxium going strong right now. Doing the big stuff. Okay. Fraxium fired up tonight, guys. Having a good time. They go fast. They are the Ricky Bobbies of NXT. They want to go fast. Oh, wow. What a chop by Axiom. You heard that in Jacksonville. All right. Looks like they are looks like they're giving Swipe Right some shine in this match. And I mean, I guess they'll want to, right? Because they seem to be a big deal on Evolve. But I hope they're not coming up to NXT already. They clearly could use some more time, but they're not bad. They're definitely not bad. Knowledge from Diglets. You know how everybody has a super kick? I low-key don't like when people have the X factor as a move in their arsenal. A lot of divas have had that move. 100% ridiculous. And you know what? Even greater, not even greater, but on the same wavelength. So many. That's a great dive by the swipe right dude, though. He just straight up dove through the middle rope to catch Axiom's leg to keep him from tagging, which is you don't see that often. But nowadays, so many people use game over finishers for transition moves, and I'm not even talking about like the DDT back in the day, which is something that still bothers me. Wow, Frazier, so clean. Frazier is so clean, dude. Oh my gosh. You might need to drug test this boy. Wow. I cannot believe that didn't put them away. What a sequence by Frazier. Like a lion salt off the second rope, caught him straight into like a scorpion death drop, reverse DDT, paused to put him down, and then standing shooting star. Wow. Oh, an Io Sky type of reversal. Front flip right out of it. Man, dude, Fraxium is so good. Okay, swipe right's not bad. They're keeping the energy here, and they're not sloppy. They're just learning. You know what I mean? Just learning. So anyway, back to my point. I have a bone to pick with mid. And when I say mid, I mean when mid-card guys in AEW are using moves like the Styles Clash. And people are kicking out. Like moves like the Styles Clash, like these Spanish fly off the top, and here comes Nathan Frazier, Axiom with the Spanish fly, and now Phoenix Splash. That ought to do it. Jumping super kick by Axiom, and that's academic. Anyway, using the Styles Clash as a transition move, using a rebound cutter, Cody cutter, whatever you want to call it, as transition moves, as 2 count moves. I'm not for it. I wish we could keep, back in the day, you're bound to run into the wrong dude at the airport or backstage if you're using their finisher as a transition move, and people ain't going for that. And usually within companies, people still are pretty good about that. But like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to hate on Will Ospreay, but he's the guy that I'm thinking of when I say this. Like, how are you going to use the Styles Clash as a mid-tier move, and then the Hidden Blade, which is basically I'm going to smack you in the back of the head? I don't go for that. But then again, I'm not their target audience, so whatever. All right. Sophie, there ain't nothing about me being old for that opinion. Like, that's just good ring psychology. A more devastating move shouldn't be your finisher. Shouldn't be your transition move. Sorry. All right. I didn't listen to a word that Fatal Influence said. But, yeah, I bring up old people stuff every time. That's kind of what the whole wrestling history thing is about. So Jasmine Nix. All right. So Jasmine Nix is in a qualifying match for for the ladder match for the North American title. So great stuff there. So we should be good to go with that qualifying match tonight. So let's see. All right. Now, how's everybody doing tonight? Betamax. Oh, yeah. Well, AJ brought up the Betamax. But, yeah, the original WWE video game, I've got it right over here in the corner. Also got Royal Rumble for Super Nintendo as well. These are just relics of my childhood. Love that stuff. Yeah, George, I'm inclined to agree that I don't see Jasmine Nix getting into the ladder match, depending on who else they've got in the field. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, Sophie Dovey brings up an interesting point. The A&B Combos Wrestling Podcast is available during, on all platforms, all podcast platforms. Check that out as we talk about the build to WrestleMania. And what's interesting is we did kind of predate some of the stuff that happened on Monday, I believe. Well, this was a couple of weeks ago now, I think. But that being what it is. So anyways, we're just talking about the build, what should be exciting about all that stuff, and see where we go from here. Diglets, man, I wish I had saved most of my stuff too. Some of this stuff is rebought, and some of this is just for the set. But then the things I missed the most were definitely the since we're watching NXT. I'll tell you this, maybe one day I put together a wish list or something once I get subscribers, once we get members and stuff. Or I can spend some of my super chat money on is the old Hasbro, the original Hasbro figures. They have these Mattel ones. This is Shawn Michaels, by the way, current head of NXT, looking his most 80s-ish that he could. I used to have so many of these guys, and I'm still building it back up. Michaels and Jannetty, yeah, man, just good stuff. So I really like to find my way back to build that back up, and maybe highlight them, in the background here. But trying to find those now is hard. They got the current Mattel ones, but they're just not the same. Which, I mean, they look great, but just not the same. But yeah, so we'll see what we're going from there. T-Man, good to see you here, man. T-Man CEO, good to have you here, man. Thanks for joining us. So we still have a 6-man tag main event tonight. DarkState versus the three challengers for the NXT Championship, who currently hate each other. Obafemi, our champion, Trick Williams, and of course Javon Evans will be facing each other tonight in a 6-man tag against DarkState. And we've also still got Wes Lee taking on Yoshiki Inamura as well. So don't know where that will go story-wise, but in the ring should have a really great time. Digless, I bought a retro Mattel version of Bray Wyatt. Wish they had a Fiend version. I would cry. Oh, man, that would be amazing. The great thing that they're doing is, at least from what I remember, after Bray's passing, all of his merch is like going to their family. So I don't see why they couldn't, issue a Mattel figure of the Fiend. That would be so much fun. People would buy that 100%. I think that would be great. But we are back with Fatal Influence in the ring as Jasmine Nix is standing front and center to take on Sol Ruka. Oh, yeah, Sol's totally doing this. Sol and Zarya in the ladder match doing team-up moves. Here's my money. We're doing that 100%. That's going to happen. Okay. All right, Zarya and Sol here at ringside. Sol Ruka taking on Jasmine Nix. Anybody got Jasmine Nix for tonight? Y'all think she's got a chance against the Soul Snatcher? I don't think she does. But the numbers game is in favor of Fatal Influence. So Zarya and Kalani Jordan already qualified for the ladder match last week. So we've got this match tonight plus another one yet to be announced. Agreed, Diglets. Sol on a different level. Surprised she hasn't won a title yet. 100%, man. I think the only thing holding Sol back from a title is all of the other women that are at the peak of their game right now. But Stand and Deliver could be her opportunity for a singles title with the North American Championship. The only thing I'm thinking about is this. There's another X Factor for you, dog. We were just talking about that. Nevertheless, the only thing I could see keeping Sol from winning the ladder match is the fact that her and Zarya still have that tag team going right now. And I wonder, because they are over as a team. So I'm just curious if there's any other singles competitor that might have more, I don't want to say an entitlement, but might be a better pathway towards the championship. So far, out of everybody who is in the match right now, including, we're assuming, Sol Ruca, I think she's got the best shot, but we'll see who the other three are. Yeah, Sol and Zarya are still a tag team. I mean, Zarya is here ringside with Sol Ruca, so I'm assuming they're still a unit and not just buddies. But yeah, somebody mentioned Lola Vice. George mentioned Lola Vice. You could see her in this match. She wouldn't be a bad champion either. Honestly, out of all the women right now, I would have said the next best contender for the North American Championship would have been Sol Ruca, Lola Vice, or I would have said Jada Parker, but it seems like she's going to be in the title match. So, yeah, I think any of those three ladies are probably the next tier level of excellence. Although, I will say, don't sleep on Tatum Paxley. She's been doing some wild stuff in the ring lately, too. Really interesting moveset, great character. I would not be mad if she was a champion either. I got to tell you, like, Fatal Influence does, I mean, they've got a little bit of Temu toxic attraction to me ever since they became a faction. But I will give them credit. Like, Jasmine, like, she can wrestle. Like, just this match, like, she's pulling out some holds and moves and stuff that, like, it's not like they're divas. They look like divas, but they don't wrestle like them. So I won't fully dismiss them. Okay. Yeah. Jasmine's just almost out on her feet right now. Sol's about to throw her off the ropes. The shoulder tackle. This offense is not super convincing to me from Sol Ruca. She's not the only one who does it either. I saw somebody else do this, I want to say on Raw last night, or on one of the main shows, this rebound off the ropes, and it's just like love tap on the chest to like put you down. There's no stank on that. It's like a flag football version of pro wrestling, and I'm not about that. You got to lay your stuff in there if you want to go. Okay, JC Jane is distracting Zarya, and Fallon Henley jumps up on the apron to distract her. And now can Jasmine? Oh, ugly Pele kick. Can that do it? Oh, no, kick at it too. Sol is still alive. All right. That numbers game. Oh, roll up. Just a 2 count. Man, another kick to the head, but Sol's in the corner now. Enziguri. Could it be time? Soul Snatcher. That's it. It's fundamental at this point to Sol Ruca in the ladder match, y'all. Okay. So we have 3 competitors. 2 of them are a tag team right now. Zarya, Sol Ruca, and Kalani Jordan shaping up to be a heck of a ladder match. And we will see where we go from there. So we have 2 remaining contenders to be, 3. Sorry, 3 remaining contenders to be determined. And for the ladder match, we should get 1 more of them tonight. We'll see what happens. You guys ever been to Vegas? Just curious. I know we're kind of all scattered about. I've been to Vegas once. Walked through that oven. Pretty hot, but fun to do the touristy thing. Walk down the strip and all that good stuff. Curious, you guys ever been there? If you have any positive memories of being there. And we got Javon Evans doing some resistance training. Be honest with me, guys. Does Javon Evans' shirt look like Javon Evans' t-shirt looks like it's a memorial shirt for his own funeral. It looks like something his whole family would buy to be in remembrance of Javon. T-Man said, "Let's go, Soul. I wish one of the Meta girls were in this match. Extremely good talent being wasted in a tag division that's not cared for. Not a bad observation, T-Man. I would love to see Lash or Jakara take one of those spots, if not both. There's still 3 spots left. Why not both of them? Although Lash did lose her spot to Zarya, if I'm remembering correctly. But, yeah, put Jakara in there. Let them do something. Let them work. Hank and Tank versus the Culling later on tonight as well. Got a preview for LFG. Okay. Diglett says, never been, but got invited by Chevy to get on a track to drive some Corvettes. That sounds like a lot of fun. Might go. Okay. Yeah, man. Life is short, dude. Depending on how fast you go in those Corvettes, it could be shorter, but, safety first. And have a good time if you go, bro. Dossie, yes, once. What was the highlight of your trip, dude, if you feel comfortable sharing that in the chat? Curious what the highlight of your trip to Vegas was. George, never been. I've only been once. It was on my way home from the Grand Canyon. We did a pit stop in there in Vegas on the way home. I'd say our highlight, I don't know, man. I'm not sure what my highlight was because we didn't do a whole lot. We were just kind of there overnight and just kind of hung out by the pool and stuff at the hotel. But I got to say, the movie fan in me, it was fun at night to walk the strip and go to the fountain in front of the Bellagio where they shot, like the end of Ocean's 11. And just getting to see that up close was a lot of fun. It was really cool. So I enjoyed that. Just Alex went off on an AEW Dynasty. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, listen, the finale to that show went over like a wet fart. Like it's not good. Sorry, it was a little crass, but like that's not I don't know why they lately in the reign of Moxley, they can't seem to figure out send the crowd home happy. And I don't know what's worse, the way they ended this show, Dynasty, or the way they ended Revolution, which gave you hope that Swerve would be there to take the title off of him at Dynasty, and he didn't. And Swerve cutting that promo after the show was off the air, having more beef with Booker T than with the guy who embarrassed him than the champion who made him look like a chump by beating him for the title, or the Young Bucks who screwed him out of the title. But nah, man, screw Booker T. Okay, Swerve, if the only pop you can get is by mentioning a WWE Hall of Famer, that's telling. That's all I have to say. But with me doing NXT reviews every week, you're going to be hard-pressed to make me hate Booker T, so I admit I might be a little biased. He's a two-time Hall of Famer, 5-time WCW champion, ridiculous amount of time WCW tag champion. But anyway, Swerve's a good performer. Well, Swerve's good at wrestling moves, but I don't know, man. He's no pun intended, but Swerve might need to stay in his lane. Best King gimmick ever. Yes. Let it be said. Best King gimmick ever by Three Diglets. Better than Harley Race. Better than Haku. I'll even say better than the Macho King. By a hair. By a hair. But King Booker put in so much work into getting that over in, what was it, 2010, 2011, that gimmick during that time. And he just sold it all out. It was just wild. So, yeah, it's just excellent stuff. Excellent stuff by King Booker. Got my wife to watch wrestling. King Booker is still, I think, her favorite character of all time. So you got King Mabel, number 2. That is a very unpopular opinion, Three Diglets. Absolutely. So, yeah, interestingly enough. George Just Alex says that he might do an NXT review, but that's awesome. I mean, I'd love to be a lead-in for him if he wants to do his reviews after. Well, I mean, whenever he wants to do them, it's his channel. But yeah, absolutely. All right, we back. Julia walking in the ever dangerous NXT parking lot. No friends rematch. That's all the promo you need. So Julia's thrown her name in the hat. Yeah. T-Man, I hate that Swerve is carrying on like this to say, who's to say Tony Khan will continue to make him a top guy? Yeah, I mean, I don't follow AEW closely enough, but things I've heard is that are they really going to try to hold off until Darby Allin comes back to be the one to dethrone Moxley? Like, I don't get all that. I don't get all that. Diglis, the reason why King Mabel is such a legit threat to the Undertaker, he's the reason Taker had to get that. The Phantom of the Opera mask at one point. Yeah, well, he legit was because he broke his orbital bone. I mean, I shouldn't laugh at that, but you know what? Taker doesn't care. Yeah, no, Mabel was legit. And there were very few legit threats to Taker during that time that could give you a watchable match. Like Yokozuna might have been one of the only ones who could really give you a match that was still entertaining and go. And at that point, Yokozuna, I think, was getting ready to take a break. But yeah, so Mabel was there. He was definitely an exit, a rest stop along the point of Taker's museum of giants that he had to take on during that time. Thinking of Yokozuna, Kamala, King Kong Bundy, Diesel, Giant Gonzalez, so many guys. All right, so we got the Culling versus Hank and Tank. I'm so fascinated by Hank and Tank, and because these are two guys. It's interesting. Their gimmick, they really are kind of living their gimmick in the ring as they are backstage of constantly trying to improve, because in the ring, you can tell they're going full force energy, but they're still kind of dressed like a job team from WCW Saturday Night. Like this is a team I would expect a job to Harlem Heat in the MGM studios, but like high voltage or the State Patrol, doing some deep cuts here, or the Texas Hangmen. Nevertheless, these guys are so high energy in the ring, though, and I can't ignore that. Like, they grow on me every week. So, curious to see how they match up with the Culling if they pull away with the win. And Tank is slowly becoming my dude too. Tank really lays it all out there. So we'll see what happens. All right, we got a memory from Dossie Chatham here. I got to think about it. It was in 2017. I remember going on a roller coaster ride at one of the casinos. I remember doing the medieval thing, Tournament of Kings, I think was the name of it. Sounds like a blast, dude. Hope that was a good time, and hope that stays for a great. Hope that stays a great memory for you. Yeah, George, I don't know if they'll have Hank and Tank lose to the Culling. They've slowly been getting their way on a win streak. And the Culling did just, Spears did just lose the title last week. I'd be interested to see where it goes. All right, Hank just throwing shoulders. You know who I don't think Hank and Tank need to abandon their gimmick per se, but their energy, if they ever did want to resurrect Chase U, those two other guys that are following Andre Chase around are not really doing it for me. But if Hank and Tank matched up with Andre Chase, that would be a high energy faction right there. I think they would have a lot of fun. But it's just my personal opinion. I highly doubt they'll go that way. But I think that would be cool. Tank is pretty entertaining, right? Right? I think he's got a future. As long as he can stay healthy, I think he's got a future. Oh, man. All right. And then Jensen. Oh, Eats a boss man slam. Jensen, by the way, the son, I think, of Bull Buchanan. So, ironically, eating the boss man slam there. Hank coming off the top. Swanton, nowhere. Okay. Leaving early tonight, chat. Got to study up for some tomorrow. Enjoy the show. Hey, Diglets, thank you so much. And thank you for your super chat. You didn't designate. Of course, I tried to put up as much as I could of you. Thank you for being here, dog. I will see you next time. Have a great time. And just like that, yes, and like the chat, guys. Like and subscribe if you're new here. Make sure to like the chat. Let's pump those numbers up. Let's get those rookie numbers up. Man, I hate to see the culling take that one from Hank and Tank, but I still want Hank and Tank on my TV weekly. Hank and Tank are frustrated. The North American champion is here, and he's definitely got his best Dwayne Johnson circa 1998 shirt on. So we're going to hear from the North American champion probably when we come back. Justin, my friend, says wrestling is life and wrestling is death, but also wrestling is life. All right, guys. We are here. Now, we're on another commercial break. So let's ask the question, as we are here in Mania season, we'll do another check-in. We are, 12 days away from WrestleMania 41. What is your most anticipated match for WrestleMania going in to this weekend? As WrestleMania is next weekend, of course, but like currently where we're at in the build, what is your most anticipated match coming up? Justin asks, how did you feel about Jay's promo? I thought it was needed. I thought it was a great promo by Jay. It's not the best promo that he's cut in his career, but I think the promo, I think the feud needed that promo. I liked him other than his sunglasses, and he took his sunglasses off. He was not wearing any kind of, Yeet Club merchandise. He was in the ring as Jey Uso, as Joshua, just having a real talk with Gunther. And I think after what Gunther did to Jimmy, Jay needed to go to that place. The only thing that I wish was different from that promo is that and even he just put a button on it to say at WrestleMania, I'm taking that title. But also, I really wish he would have said at WrestleMania, I'm going to make you bleed. Just blood for blood, man. I mean, Gunther took it there, and I think Jay could have taken an opportunity to put it right back, which tells me, they're probably not going to be allowed to bleed in that match, because they're pretty selective on who they let bleed in their shows to make it special, and I appreciate that and get that. But I 100% am behind Jay winning this match. I heard somebody else today, I think it might have been on Busted Open, Dave LaGreca and Billy Ray, put out the idea that Jay could get disqualified because he's too violent towards Gunther in the match and gets disqualified. That situation or Jay winning are the only two acceptable solutions for me personally. I can't see Gunther walking out of. I really don't want to see Gunther walking out of WrestleMania with that title. One, because I feel like the way they're telling Jay's story, this is the natural conclusion to that. And also, without that belt, Gunther can move into a different feud. He could work his way. I'm not saying Cody's going to beat John Cena, but he could inch his way into title contention for the actual WWE title. And ultimately, I think that's where Gunther will be headed one of these days. Just what I think. George says you think Jay needs the title more than Gunther. I will say I think the title would do more for Jay, and I do think Gunther is doing more for the title. So I would agree with you. I think Jay definitely needs the title more than Gunther does, because Gunther's a made man. at this point. At least it seems like that's how Triple H views him. Ricky Saints entering the NXT arena. T-Man says, I want Jay to win too, but the IWC hates the thought of him winning. You know what, T-Man? That makes me want Jay to win all the more. I cannot wait to see the meltdown. I hope that meltdown happens, and I hope it's ugly and embarrassing for everybody who thinks they know how to book better than Triple H. Yeah, so we have the draft sometime after WrestleMania. So all of your favorites who win or lose, if they're not holding a belt at the end of Mania, that presents opportunity. They could have a good reset and have a fresh set of feuds. I don't think that's a bad thing, as long as they plan for it well enough ahead of time. And that's always the question, right? All right, well, we're waiting for Ricky to start talking here. And now I am curious if we'll see Ethan Page here in this segment. What did they say? Ricky what? They're not saying Saints and they're not saying Starks. They're saying Strokes.
I will say this. The first night that I stepped foot here in NXT, I told everybody that I was here to turn this place upside down. I told you that the revolution will be televised again and that you would get an absolute superstar.
Okay. You'd get an absolute superstar, okay?
I haven't figured it out yet. Ricky Saints is a man of his word because, baby, I'm standing here the new NXT North American champion.
Interesting. You earned it, Chance. Not you deserve it, Chance.
And while I would love to keep the celebration going, unfortunately, I got a little bit of a bitter taste left in my mouth from last week, and that is all due to you, all ego Ethan Page.
Okay. Ricky already bringing up Ethan Page.
Don't get me wrong, I fully understand because if a guy like me of my caliber came in and did the exact same thing that you did,
Is it bothering anybody else that Ricky is standing off center of the ring? He's not standing right in the middle of the ring. He's off center staring at the camera.
Ethan Page has never been known to be the bigger man. He had to go and ruin a special moment of mine. So, as the champ, I've never been no punk. So
They need to tighten up this camera shot. Booker T looks bored. Booker T's in the corner of the camera shot, and he looks bored. This ain't good. Oh, Lexus King. Heritage Cup champion and North American champion. I'm telling you, man, Ricky Saints is just catching the wind of all the ex-AEW guys. I'm not mad about it either.
Hold your horses,
Slick Rick.
about the wrong guy. Now I know the King has the prestigious Heritage Cup Championship.
There's somebody just yelling. What is happening?
But if there's one thing about me, brother, I love gold.
I love gold. Oh, man, it's a shame A and B aren't in the chat. They would have loved that line from Lexus King. Now, Eddie Thorpe is here. Dude, are we doing another multi-man match? Listen, NXT is mega talented, and I love wanting to get dudes on the card, but we don't have to have multi-man matches everywhere.
Are starving to get what they deserve. All this time, I've been on the quest to win a title here in NXT, but now I realize I've had my sights set in the wrong place. Because that title, Ricky, that title represents the land of my people. the same land that was stolen from them. So as far as I'm concerned, that title.
I'm not mad at the Native American gimmick wanting the North American title. I'm not mad at that at all.
You need to worry about me.
Now who we got? Wesley. Wesley already got a match tonight, dude. This is going to be like an SNL sketch that just keeps going, adding more people. If the ghost of Norm Macdonald comes out next to challenge for the title, I'm done. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. Lexus King yelling, "Let him cook" to the crowd. So far, we have 4 men in the ring, and not one of them are Ethan Page, the person that Ricky Saints came out here to call out. Wow. I just said greedy white man. And there's Ethan Page. Twist of fate right in the middle of the ring. Oh, now 4 guys all trying to pick up the title that doesn't belong to any of them. And Ricky's just laid out. There goes Eddie Thorpe. Wesley gets kicked in the face. Lexus and Ethan throwing. Here comes Eddie again to drag out Ego. Oh, here comes Wesley over the top. Clears the crowd. He's still got Tyreek and Tyson over there gassing him up. All right. I'm gonna be slightly critical here. Let's see. Oh, we got Stephanie.
I have made my decision. Understand, I'm the hero. I want all of them.
All right, fatal 4-way. Fatal 4-way at Stand and Deliver. And I gotta be slightly critical. I love that for the women's match. For the women's match, that's great. However, adding 3 more men to the contention of the men's North American title picture, when Ethan Page came right in last week and immediately got the attention of Ricky Saints. I don't know why we need to kid ourselves with some sort of number 1 contender match, or I hope it's not a 5-way match. Like, I don't think we need to stack all that right away. You know what I mean? Just a thought. Just a thought. Ricker D, welcome to the chat. You're here right on time. We have now determined our main event for Stand and Deliver, at least for the women. We have champion Stephanie Vaquer defending against Jordan Grace, Jada Parker, and a returning Julia in a fatal 4-way match. So I think I'll do a prediction show for Stand and Deliver a few days before before Saturday, where we can, I can come in and throw those out there if we want to. If you guys want to go live with it, let me know. I'll be glad to do that too. Or maybe even next week after the show, we can run down the card together and we can share those predictions together for Stand and Deliver, because it'll be fun. So we can do that as well. So yeah, the card is stacking up. We've got we definitely have 1 match scheduled. Looks like we're headed towards something with the North American title. We've got that ladder match for the women's North American title, which is that matchup is still being fleshed out as well. I imagine Fraxium will have a title defense somewhere along the line. We don't know who that's going to be yet. Yeah, so going to be quite a card shaping up. So Stand and Deliver will do just that, I believe. It'll deliver. So I'm hoping that since Stand and Deliver will likely be on Peacock, be more of a PLE than a CW show, that Stephanie, I meant to say Stephanie, that the women in general will get more time, because Stephanie and Julia really did only have about 10 to 12 minutes to finish out their double title match at Roadblock. And so while it was great, they were working with boundaries there. And so I'm hoping that they get just a little more time this time around to really show off what they all can do. Especially adding Jordan and Jada into that mix, I think will do great things. So if you're just joining us, we're here on the road to Stand and Deliver. And also we here at Marked by Wrestling are on the road to Super Chatting. We're building a Super Chat championship. We're looking to implement memberships and super chat capabilities. In the meantime, while we're on the road for that, if you'd like to donate into the channel in the meantime, you can do so below at either of those venues. You just holler at me and connect with me either way there, and we will put any of your messages on the screen confirmed with that and stuff in between as we're continuing conversation tonight. Coming back from commercial now, 10 a.m. Saturday the 19th is when we will convene for Stand and Deliver. Crash Out Trick. Trick Williams is so much taller than Sarah Schreiber. I think it's the first time I've seen Trick's chest covered in a while.
North American champ, two-time NXT champ, back-to-back main event Stand and Deliver. Let's talk about it. Except this time I'm leading with the title around my waist.
But I have to ask you, have any concerns teaming up with them tonight, Javon and Oba, and taking on the destructive DarkState?
Hell yeah, I'm concerned. You see what they did last week? Look, DarkState, and they don't care about nobody. Oba, Javon, make sure you know your A game, because we're going to need it. Let's Stand and Deliver. I'm going to whoop both y'all ass.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I totally ignored the triple threat match for the NXT title as well. Wesley still chilling in the ring from that brouhaha for that Donnybrook, if you will, of North American title contenders. And here comes Inamura, flanked by Josh Briggs, having his corner, having his back. Don't sleep on Inamura, guys. Inamura had a killer match on Speed. Don't laugh at Speed. Had a killer match with Ivar on Speed. But here comes Suicide Dive right out of the way. And Inamura said, nope. Grabbed him right out of it. Slams him up against the apron. And he said, let's do this thing. Let's get this match started. It's nice to see Inamura not wearing a generic WWE t-shirt either. Man, dude, Inamura's tight, man. Like he's a big dude. Rickardy, yeah. So you're in for a treat. Like he is just I think he is a deceptively meaty dude. We'll just no sell that shot. Oh man, what a combo, dog! Wow. All right. Kick off the back from Wesley. Oh, Inamura is a protege of the Great Muta. I don't know if that's the first time I'm hearing that or not, but that makes him solid in my book for sure. Great Muta, all-timer, Hall of Famer now. Yeah, Great Muta, one of the best. Kick out by Inamura. I kind of like short hair Wesley better than locks Wesley, if I'm being honest. SmackDown coming from Seattle on Friday. Oh, man, going for a 450 so casually. What a backdrop. Wesley sold the mess out of that. Oh, man, a sumo attack with chops in the corner. Man, smack, smack. Holding up. Oh, hard chop by Inamura. Booker T taking up for Wesley, man. It's like, save that man. Get in there, ref. Hang and vertical suplex. The Wesley coming there with knees from the hanging position. Now he's got him in a fisherman position. Caught the leg. Fisherman suplex. I give Inamura credit. I don't see anybody else on WWE TV wrestling like him. So he's already, he's got a uniqueness to him, which I'm sure there's plenty of guys who probably do wrestle like him in the world, maybe even in AEW and stuff. But Inamura, like, I love that. Howling Crane, you ain't told a lie, dude. See Inamura versus Gunther, that would be a great, like, sort of international match or something, a good house show match they could put on the vault or something. That would be banging for sure. Those guys would just let it out. Throw him in there with Sheamus or with Drew. Any of those hard-hitting European guys would be fun. Oh, man, like an airplane spin from a power slam position. All right. Dude, this feels like the peak Nitro era WCW, in that there's something for everybody on the card, something unique. Oh, man, here we go. Tyson and Tyreek interfering. Briggs tries to neutralize him, but it might be too late. Rebound and Pele kick. Is that going to be it from Wesley? 1, 2, that's it. Briggs tried to get in there to interrupt, but he missed it. Well, Briggs tried to be there for his boy. That's all you can ask, really, when it's one partner versus two on the outside. But impressive showing by Inamura. I'm curious to see what the future holds for him. I don't know if it'll be beyond NXT or not, but in between the ropes, in the ring, that dude can go. He's definitely got that. I'm sure they probably call it strong style, in Japan, but that sort of European, cut to his style, hard hitting stuff. Inamura noticeably frustrated as we have the ruler backstage cutting a promo.
Because in addition to you guys attacking me last week, I haven't forgotten what you did at Vengeance Day. Because you hit me with your last shot, with your best shot, and you failed to put me down. So tonight, I'm going to return the favor. And then when I'm done with you four fools, I will turn my attention fully to Trick Williams and Javon Evans, because in 2 weeks, they will get their opportunity to hit me with their best shot, and they will find out the hard way that the ruler can't be stopped. And they will suffer the same fate that DarkState is going to suffer tonight. And that is defeat at the hands of Obafemi.
Okay, solid promo from the ruler. I wouldn't mind seeing Obafemi versus Inamura in a low stake. It doesn't have to be a title match. But those two guys could hit each other pretty hard, too. Might be a styles clash there, a clash of styles. But maybe not. Rickardy, rather see Oba and Rusev. That would be fun, too. Absolutely. Be interesting to see how that's going to go. Yeah, so we've got that six-man tag. I mean, Javon, Trick, and Oba hate each other. And you're dealing with, like, this new version of Retribution / the Shield / the NWO, the invading force that is DarkState. I mean, the chemistry is already not working in favor of Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans. So I don't think it looks good for them. And that would be a huge win for DarkState in their debut to take on the 3 top male singles performers in NXT right now. So, there's a lot riding on that right now. So we'll see what comes of it. We will see what comes of it. All right, we are back on commercial break. And here's a question. Who would you have a returning Aleister Black's first match or first feud with when he shows back up on WWE TV? Who would you like to see Aleister Black, Malachi Black, whatever name he's going to have when he returns? Who would you like to see him take on first? I'm curious what your thoughts are. Let's hear them in the chat while we're waiting for NXT to come back on the air. In the meantime, George Lewis says, I want to say Randy Orton. I think they would have a fun match. I think, physically they match up well together. I think they would have good chemistry there. I think they could build a good feud. I think they could tell a good story with the right tools, with the right arc, because both of them can cut promos in their own way. And there's a lot of aura to both of their entrances. That could really be an event match if they built it up, And they wouldn't have to build, for me, they wouldn't have to build Aleister Black like you did with the Wyatt, like you did with the Wyatts, when Randy was feuding with Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper and that whole title feud that year. That would be, another thing. So I think there's a little bit of more grounded reality to Black. And so I'd be interested in seeing that. Justin Allen Crane also says Randy or Damian Priest. I'm not mad at that. I think Damian and Black could match up really well together. Honestly, they wouldn't be a terrible tag team. Now, I know I'm guessing Black probably wants to come in as a solo competitor, and WWE probably wants to use him as a solo competitor. They don't do a whole lot of mishmash tag team guys anymore that aren't built as a team, which is fine. But I think those guys could team up really well together, though. George says Drew McIntyre. Absolutely. I think that would be another great match to have between the two, because Aleister is also, really agile in the ring, so he could do some flying around too as well, just enough to put a little seasoning, on that match, which would be fun. Rickardy suggests Karrion Kross. That would also be a lot of fun as well. We're coming back to NXT. Looks like we're about to get another qualifying match for the ladies' North American title ladder match. And Dulcie suggests Orton, Breakker, and Gunther. Dude, I want to see all these matches. I think we all kind of shared about Randy. I hope he gets all of them. So we have Ren Sinclair versus Izzy Dame. I'm a little behind on the broadcast from you guys. I haven't gotten the entrances yet. So we have Izzy Dame from the Culling against Ren Sinclair from No Quarter Catch Crew, right? That'll be interesting to see where we go from there, especially since Sean Spears just lost the North American title. But we have No Quarter Catch Crew coming in, and we get Ren Sinclair. Honestly, I really like Ren Sinclair. She's got a great attitude. She can deliver in the ring. So I'm rooting for her. But right now, are these both heels, or no Quarter, or at least Ren is a babyface, right? Am I wrong about that? Because even with Catch Crew, people still seem to gravitate towards Ren. But the Culling are definitely heels. And so far, we've only got one heel in this match. Ren Sinclair is a face. All right, that makes sense. All right. Well, the crowd fully behind Ren. I have a feeling Izzy might take this, because I'm just curious if we'll end up with 3 faces and three heels. Okay. Oh, Rickardy, Izzy is the blonde, and Ren is the brunette. So Izzy is the one with the culling. She's in the pink and black with the blonde hair. And then Ren is the brunette with the white and blue gear. Also, for those of you who keep up with this stuff, I do believe Izzy Dame in real life is partners with one Braun Breaker. The more you know. The love nest that is NXT. The NXT to wrestling couples pipeline. But I really do love that Ren has adopted this whole catch crew mentality. Like, she wrestles like a member of catch crew. Like, she goes in, she does the chain wrestling. She tries to, be technical. Love that. And I don't know her history. Maybe she already had that, but no worries, Rickardy. I'm starting to get a few location warning messages on my broadcast, so I might have to do some troubleshooting before next week's NXT. Not loving that, so we'll see what happens. Trash talking by Izzy Dame. You know what? One of the things that our brother and sister A and B talk about, especially AJ, a lot is when you have factions on a show and there's a singles match, where's the rest of your faction supporting you? And shout out to both these ladies having their men show up for their match. He'd be so happy to see that. You've got the culling minus Sean Spears here to support Izzy Dame, and you've also got the quarter catch crew in their totality here to support Ren Sinclair. You love to see it. All right, chin lock here by Izzy Dame. Okay, so Sean Spears is paying attention. He's back in the locker room. Not sure why he's not out there, though. I didn't see any explanation there. Ren throwing elbows. Okay. Oh. Izzy caught that knee in the face. Charges the corner, nobody home. Smacked by Ren. Another chop. Another chop. Double-handed. Off the ropes. Clothesline. Some of these women are doing this two-handed shove. Not loving that so much. Let's see. Which main NXT match are you looking forward to watching? We're talking about Stand and Deliver. If I'm talking about Stand and Deliver so far, I'm looking forward to that ladder match, that women's ladder match. And honestly, the women's ladder match and both NXT title matches, it's hard to narrow down because you've got wrestling and you've got story going in both title matches, right? And then that ladder match is bound to be a car crash. So we'll see what happens. Oh, Izzy. Izzy has pulled it out. I just don't believe in her to win the North American title, at least not at this point. I think there's just more talent in the match than that. But we'll see what happens. So we've got 2 spots left. So we've got Izzy Dame, Sol Ruka, Zarya, and Kalani Jordan so far with 2 left to qualify before the ladder match. I guess we'll get them next week, right before Saturday. Promo here for Stephanie's Places, this week's episode with Rhea Ripley.
Look at this. Oh my God. I got it in the rear.
I have not watched any of Stephanie's Places yet, although I really would like to see the Cody and Punk episodes. Rhea needs to stop whining. She didn't deserve her spot in the title match. I know that's just kayfabe talk, but I'm still a little bit more. Oh, it's a Stephanie. It's a custom Stephanie vest. That's pretty cool. Oh gosh, they're doing Rhea makeup on Stephanie. That's pretty funny. Absolutely, Rickardy. Ladder matches can change your destiny. Just ask Sean or Joey. They absolutely can go one way or the other. They can make your career or they can break your face. So we'll see what happens. Sean a couple of times, man. That first match with Razor, of course, at WrestleMania 10. And also that match against Jericho in 2008. Lash and Jakara. Meta Girls.
And deliver. I mean, clearly, I'm the only former NXT Women's Champion in this story. All right, listen. You know what? Now that I'm looking around, I actually have an idea for Stand and Deliver. I can reach out. What is it? Details. Sit better. Not be a tag match because I don't even have a tag partner.
Huh. Okay. Well, let's see. They're going to do something to get those last 2 qualifiers, and I guess it's just not going to be 2 regular matches. We'll see what they'll do. I guess they'll do it next week, and we have a fantastic Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championship at Stand and Deliver. All right. Main event is going to be on the way. Who do you guys have with DarkState versus Trick, Oba, and Javon? Let's hear it. There is a lot of talent left over from that match, too, with Metaphor, Fatal Influence, and Roxy. All of them going. Justin's got DarkState. Okay. Can't blame you there. They have the chemistry. They aren't currently trying to kill each other every week. I think that's a safe pick, and no shame in a safe pick, because they seem to have it together. They know what they're doing. They know what they're after. So we'll see what happens from there. I think I'm also leaning towards DarkState tonight. They would make a big statement going into the title match. And yeah, I think it would really kind of run them flat. So we'll see what happens when we return. Okay, here's a question while we're waiting to return to the show for the main event. WrestleMania season, another WrestleMania question. What is your favorite WrestleMania of all time? I might have asked this question in the past, but let's relive it. Actually, I believe we have asked this question before, so we can throw them in again. I think I remember there being a lot of love for 19, which is a great year. In there, 2003. Fantastic. So I'm curious, while we're waiting for those answers, what they will do with Metaphor and Fatal Influence and Roxy. If they do some sort of 3-way tag match and the winning team gets the final 2 spots. That would be an entertaining match and entertaining stakes. And that would require Roxanne Perez to get a partner. Okay, Justin Allen Crane bringing up an oldie but a goodie. Rey Mysterio winning the world title, WrestleMania 22 in Chicago, I believe, if I remember that correctly. Was that Chicago? I think so. Anyway, great one. All right. George says, Rock versus Stone Cold WrestleMania, I believe in Seattle, where The Rock finally beats Stone Cold. Yes, that's 19. 19 was a top to bottom fantastic card. It was an all-timer card of matchups. You had Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio. You had Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. You had The Rock and Stone Cold. You had Hulk Hogan and Mr. McMahon. There was another match. It was Triple H and Booker T, which we all kind of hated. But Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. Just great feuding all around for those. And then I didn't even get into some of the tag matches and stuff. It's probably one of the less impressive Undertaker matches, but the rest of the card was so good. Ironically, not a great Undertaker match, and John Cena wasn't on the card. So he did like a little rap battle before the show on Sunday Night Heat. So just funny how that works out. Dawsey, WrestleMania 17 and 19. 17, of course, always found as a beloved WrestleMania, one of the top agreed upon WrestleManias there is. Another Austin Rock main event there. So yeah, a lot of fans of 19. That's cool. 19 and 17, all good ones. 17, really kind of the death of the Attitude Era of that time. I wouldn't say the death, but it's kind of like the last hurrah of the Attitude Era as we moved into the Invasion. And then 21, yes, Justin, the first Money in the Bank ladder match at 21, great one. All right, here we have the Chase U pledges here. Andre. Andre Chase still looking like Baron Corbin out here. Down on his luck. Oh, here comes Hank and Tank. Oh, I was hoping they'd interact with each other. Tag team champions are in the house. Street Profits.
Two guys that's been through their fair share of identity crises in their careers. Just lean on each other and stick to being who you are. Be who you are. Be
Interestingly enough, the Street Profits are giving them the most sound advice out of everybody.
There's a tag team gauntlet match, and the winner of that faces Fraxy for the NXT tag team title.
Tag Gauntlet next week, baby. Tag Gauntlet. Hank and Tank going all the way, baby. Come on. Come on. The Hank and Tank train is starting. Huh. Street Profits, that's the friendliest they've been in quite a while. Okay, so we're getting contender matches next week. Next week is just all contender matches. Fatal four-way to determine Ricky Saint's challenger at Stand and Deliver. We're going to have a tag gauntlet. See who faces Fraxium. Come on, Hank and Tank. Come on. We're all going to buy our tickets. We're all going to load up on the Hank and Tank train next week because we need to see Hank and Tank versus Fraxium at Stand and Deliver. I feel like a little Mark again. It's going to be great. All right, so we've got the Culling. We've got Enamore and Briggs. We've got Tavion and Tyson. We've got No Quarter Catch Crew. And we've got Hank and Tank. Come on. Hank and Tank has been telling the story. I feel like they could go on a tear. They could go on a tear in that gauntlet match. They don't have to start at the beginning. They come in through the middle, go through a tear, and win that thing. Guys, I believe in Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank taking on Fraxium. It's meant to be. Let's hope we get there. I think that's going to be fun. I would love a little bit of a wardrobe upgrade there. Javon doesn't even get to enter hardly before Trick comes out. Man, even Booker was upset that he didn't get to jam with Trick long enough. They're getting quick entrances here. So do you think DarkState enters through the crowd like the Shield? Because it would be weird for them to enter through the entrance. That's the thing about the invading force all the time. It's like you can't treat them like regular stars. Dude, Oba strut is one of the best things. I haven't actually played with Oba in 2K, but I got to see if he's got that strut and if you can give that strut to a creator wrestler, because that'd be way too fun. Okay, we're going to commercial after the established stars have made their entrance. Yeah, I would think DarkState enters through the crowd as well. Rickety, I'm not too opposed to your thinking either. The commercials are getting a little heavy. Hopefully, that'll be close to it for the night, because by the time we come back, there'll only be 15 minutes left in the show. We might get a picture-in-picture segment, but surely we don't need a full-on commercial break again after this break that we've got right now. We'll see what happens. All right. While we're on this hopefully last commercial break, let's talk about Cody Rhodes and John Cena real quick. So we might have seen our last of John Cena before WrestleMania already. And I got to tell you guys, the main event of your main show of the entire year does not need to be carried and sold by one man for the last 2 weeks of your build. John Cena, I don't care what the reports say, John Cena either needs to show up again, be live via satellite or something, or Dwayne needs to get out of whatever he's doing and show up. We have not seen The Rock since he turned heel. Well, since Cena turned heel on Cody. We have not seen him since February. It is April. We have not seen him in 2 months. And if he's just going to show up to do an entrance with John Cena at Mania, I don't know what to tell you guys, but I'm so over Final Boss Rock at this point. It's one thing. It's one thing for him to be present, doing his Rock thing, building up that heel heat to be defeated at Mania or whatever, like he did with Roman. But this just drop in when I feel like it kind of stuff, not for Mania. Not for Mania. And I don't like it. And it's not like heel heat. I don't like it. I just think it's bad. It's bad for Cody. And I just feel like that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid we're not going to see either one of them until Mania Night 2. Or maybe you might see them backstage Mania Night 1. They'll just show up for their match. And I'm not going to get into my predictions of all that. I'm going to save that because I've been invited to be a part of Just Alex's prediction show with A&B Combos. And we'll all be sharing those on Sunday, sharing our predictions for WrestleMania as the card currently stands. But I ain't loving it. I ain't loving what they're giving Cody to work with. Those promos with Cena were okay. That one they had this 2 weeks ago now with him and Cena in London was excellent, with Cody laying him out with the Crossroads. I'm just using that as reference. The physicality didn't matter as much because I thought the promo was that good, but I'm not enjoying this build. Not loving it. Dawsey, so glad you brought this up. Remember when he said, shut up, enjoy the ride. The Rock's taking you on. That aged well. I said this on the A&B Combos Wrestling podcast. Rock didn't know what ride he was taking us on when he said that. He just doesn't want to be criticized. He just doesn't want to be criticized. And they can come up with a plan, and it could be a good plan. They can implement that plan. It could get over. People could love it. But you have convinced me now that if there was foresight of planning, that has been scrapped or delayed or canceled or whatever, and we're just kind of going with whatever he decides he can do or wants to do. And I don't think he's trying. I don't want to sound like a real life villain because I don't think he's trying to sabotage WrestleMania or anything like that. He really wouldn't have any reason to want to do that. But I just don't think, for all the passion Rock says he has for WWE and its fans, and he might. There's just like I've got 4 children, right? And I love them all, and I want to give them the world, and I want to be present for all their things. But some days, 2 of them have something going on at the same time on the opposite sides of town. I can't be in both places. And so I can say all that I want about how much I love them and how much I mean them. And that may still be true, but that doesn't mean I can always deliver in reality the affection that I have, because there's just limitations. And I think Rock has limitations, and I think he's overpromising on his affections. It's just my opinion. And DarkState has entered, and they came in through the entrance, which is weak. I'm sorry. I don't love that. They've been coming through the crowd every single week. They are being treated as outsiders. Outsiders should not be coming through the entranceway unless someone who has authority about who's coming through the entrance could be working with them. So I will withhold judgment on that temporarily. Some of y'all have already talked about it in the past. Oba's going to kill you, Chance. Now, normally I try to give you guys some play-by-play and stuff, but I still don't know all these dudes' names and DarkState, so it just ain't going to happen. I know Saquon is the dude with the single strap, the Andre the Giant looking gear. But the rest of them, I'm still learning. Oba said, "No, dog." Going for a pop-up power slam. Didn't happen. Now that the action has slowed down and we're seeing them go, okay, Trick doing a little chain wrestling, okay. Seeing them like mat square up one-on-one with some of these guys, these dudes are pretty big. And also, DarkState is got wrestling chops. Like, especially this Saquon dude. Saquon Sugars, I think is his name. I'm not 100% sure on that. I just know his name's Saquon. I thought DarkState would be winning because of their chemistry, but they're also just holding their own in the ring as well. All right, let's try to learn who this fella is in the ring now. I'll tell you what, these guys are wrestling aggressive too. Even through simple moves, they're really just like trying to get in there and wear them down. Thank you, Dawsey. So we got Dion Lennox, Cutler James, Saquon Sugars, and Osiris Griffin. I think this might be Cutler James in the ring, maybe. I know who Saquon Sugars is. Yeah, that was Cutler. Cutler into Saquon. Saquon's going to be a star. I'm going to tell you by the way he moves in the ring. Saquon is going to be the standout of this group. He looks the most ready out of all of them. Like everything about him. But they definitely look like a solid team. Honestly, they look so solid as a team, I'd be a little worried about Fraxium. Not immediately, but in time. And I think Dion Lennox is the other guy. Yeah, solid chops by Saquon in the corner on Trick. Trick's talking trash to the crowd. Oh, man, Trick throwing big show chops in there. Goodness. All right, let's see what we got. Trick staring down. The others pointing fingers. Tag to Javon Evans. Javon wants to smoke from everybody. Drops Dion off the apron. Hurricane Rana to Saquon. Spine buster. Man, Javon's just got springs in his DNA. He just bounces off the mat. Leg sweep. And double stomp. Oh, but Javon not paying attention. Almost gets caught by Cutler. A little miscommunication there. Oh, man. Nasty super kick right in the neck to Cutler. Slingshot. Hurricane Rana. High drop kick to Dion. High drop kick to Saquon. Bails out of the ring. Here comes Cutler. Look out. Oba and Trick coming in with a double clothesline. And the faces are standing tall right now. Is this a break spot? Or are we about to get another commercial break? Come on, dude. Don't do this. Okay. Wait. Who's that? Oh, it's Osiris. That's the fourth one. Ref trying to hold these guys back. So we're going into – all right, so we're in picture-in-picture where they just took a breather. But this has been a great main event so far. A lot of energy. DarkState really impressing. You know, I was skeptical of them as a group when they were just coming in for, you know, the ambushes and the jumps and all this stuff. But, hey, they're showing they belong, and throwing them right into the main event picture is really, really risky. But they did it, man. This is wild. So I think there's a bright future for DarkState, particularly Saquon Sugars. Like, this guy is going, and it's just I don't feel like the right man to be saying this, but I'll tell you this. There are competing schools of thought between Swerve Strickland and Booker T about the treatment of black men in professional wrestling. And I can't speak at length for that. I don't have the melanin or the authority to say that. However, NXT is stacked with black excellence. And it's undeniable right here in the main event. It's undeniable in the women's division. All you got to do is look around at NXT, and you can at least tell that HBK knows talent when he sees it, and he just puts it on the screen. So that's what I'll say in regards to that. Now, one super chat from my brother and sister in YouTube and in Christ. A&B Combos Wrestling Edition just got home. Have no idea what's going on, but we in her. What's up to everyone in the chat? Blessings and Marked by Wrestling. Hit that like button. Thank you, A&B. I would never have gotten into this venture without A&B Combos. I would just be a dude maintaining all this wrestling love and information, and I wouldn't know any of you. And I'm really grateful that we have this community together. I'm grateful, and I don't use that word lightly. I am grateful that we have a space where we actually can like wrestling without being judged for it, that we don't have to give over to the cultural norms of the internet wrestling community of just dumping on wrestling and being pessimistic about everything, but that we can actually be here and be like, hey, this match cooks. We actually like Hank and Tank. They're giving it. They're delivering. That Ren Sinclair can go. Like, you can't get on Twitter and say stuff like that without people being, well, just stupid. And this is a place where there's very little margin of stupid that's been said. Now, another comment from our brother A. There's something to be said about what's being said on the main roster, but it's been a thing in pro wrestling forever. Booker walked so others could run. 100%. We wouldn't even be where we are now had it not been for Booker T being who he is and going through what he's gone through. And I mean, that man is venerated in WWE now. He's just a straight up legend. And I think we see that in other performers as well. There's always room for improvement on every show, in every story. But to act like it's not happening at all, I think is a little willful ignorance. But thank you so much for that support, A&B. Love you guys. Wouldn't be here without you. Happy belated birthday to A. And that Harlem Heat shirt looks awesome on you, my friend. All right. We've been back in action. DarkState still in control. And we got Cutler James. I got to say, and it's not just the cookout in me talking, but Cutler is the least impressive of all of them to me so far. Granted, I haven't seen Osiris work yet because he's outside the ring. But and honestly, Saquon has been carrying the match for DarkState work-wise. But here comes Dion. So let's see what Dion Lennox has got to give. Dion is his gear looks like your random competitor on SmackDown in 2003. Very early John Cena. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for his birthday gifts. Hey, absolutely, man. Absolutely, my friend. There's no more deserving person. So glad you enjoyed. Okay. Dion Lennox still working on Javon. Javon's got that red stripe on the back of his trunks. It looks like that logo from the horror movie Smile. Did any of you guys see those Smile movies? Saw the first one, didn't see the second one. Dude, I'm going to put Saquon over more. Look at Saquon in the corner. He doesn't stop working even when he's not in the match. Dude took a bump on the apron just to kick his legs and laugh it. Like, you can't do that forever because you only got so many bumps on your bump card. But still, dude does not turn it off. Dude's definitely got North American champion, maybe NXT champion written on him at some point. But we'll see. We'll see what comes of it and how much time it takes to get there. Man, Javon Evans is playing Ricky Morton, playing Shawn Michaels, playing babyface in peril, playing Matt Hardy. Was Matt or Jeff the hot tag? I always thought Jeff was the hot tag because he'd take his shirt off and everybody go crazy. But I guess both Hardys did it from time to time. Nobody home on the elbow drop. Cutler coming in. Boom. Nobody home in the corner, but Dion gets the tag. And Javon still, man, this hot tag going to blow the roof off. Reversal by Javon. Can he get to the corner? Can he get to the ruler? He's got to be close enough. He's Enziguri. That ought to buy him enough time to get over there. He's got the length. Oh, Oba slapped Trick's hand away. Took the tag for himself, and the ruler wants to start ruling. And he's got hands for everybody. Just launches Saquon over his shoulder. Choke slam to Dion Lennox. Now what we got? Oh, Saquon. Oba throws Saquon right into Trick. And that looked intentional. Pop-up powerbomb on Dion Lennox. Now Trick's taking issue with it. Was that a tag? Oh, Trick throwing bombs on Oba. They're just throwing hands. Now they've worked themselves out. Now Javon. Did Javon tag in? Splash, frog splash off the top, but there's only one of them. 1, 2, only a 2 count. And now agents are at ringside trying to separate Oba and Trick. Javon is all by himself. It's 3-on-1. We know how this ends. They're going to get pulled, Oba and Trick, to the back. And here comes the launch and powerbomb. Oh, my gosh. Saquon off the top, catching him in midair for the launch and powerbomb. It's academic, y'all. Well, listen, DarkState had that one in the bag because these guys couldn't get along. But, man, Javon got his chain snatched, his bike stolen. He's going to go cry in the car. Man, like, he just got mugged. He got straight mugged in that match. Poor Javon. It was a valiant effort, but he have nothing. Or we're seeing a replay of the match, them coming through the entrance and charging the ring. And there's, man, Saquon getting thrown right into Trick. And then boom, that team finisher is nasty work, man. It's nasty work. All right. DarkState posing. Now we got, Tony and the family. Oh, via satellite.
You want to cause chaos? Fine. How about next week in the parking lot?
The NXT parking lot. It's not just any parking lot fight. The family has challenged DarkState to fighting in the parking lot. Dude, the NXT parking lot is mythical. It's where people go to die. Okay, y'all. Well, drop your rankings in the chat. I hope, was that it? Let's see. Because, okay, that must have been it. Okay. So I think that's it. All right, so drop your rankings in the chat and give me your marked moment of the night. It can be a spot. It can be a match. It can be angle advancement. What was it about tonight? If you can narrow it down to one thing that has got you hyped for next week or for Stand and Deliver, because we're in Stand and Deliver season. Tell me what you got. Let me know what it is that marked you this week. Want to hear it. All right. George says, I'm giving NXT a solid 8.5. Justin said next week's going to be crazy. Justin says it's a 10 out of 10, and that's just too, heat. Well, dang, kid. NXT parking lot. People get a broken neck. I don't know if they're working or shooting, brother. Now, George said the main event was your marked spot. Okay, hey, no shade there. That was great. I think I might have to say that I might have to agree with you, particularly Saquon's performance in the main event for sure. T-Man says 9 out of 10. And I do want to note Izzy Dame cheering before the ref counted to 3 was hilarious. She just, she was just manifesting it, just manifesting that win. A&B Combos with a super chat. And you can count on me meeting you in the parking lot. Great reference from Happy Gilmore. I believe that North American title belongs to Mr. Saints. That's Mr. Gilmore's jacket. Nevertheless, all right, I could be quoting Happy Gilmore the rest of the night. Shooter McGavin, one of the best film villains of all time. Fantastic stuff. And I do believe he's in the Happy Gilmore 2 that'll be coming out soon, also featuring MJF apparently. So be on the lookout for that, everybody. All right, Justin Hallen Crane, marked a moment, say DarkState's first match or the Hank and Tank match. I'm also super hyped for Hank and Tank in the tag gauntlet. I'm telling you, I don't say WWE fumbles stuff very much because I don't like jumping on that hype train of pessimism and haterade. But if Hank and Tank don't win that gauntlet, that tag gauntlet next week, what are we doing? What are we doing? So, yeah. All right, next week we'll see the final 2 women for the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match. Absolutely. They haven't confirmed it, but it very much looks like it could be a 3-way tag match with each member of the team getting those 2 spots because we've got Metaphor. We've also got Fallon Henley and JC Jane, I think, wanting to represent Fatal Influence. And then also we've got Roxanne Perez, who doesn't have a partner, but did bemoan the fact that she would have to have one. So a lot of exciting opportunities for next week. So coming up next on our family of channels, A&B Combos will be hosting Friday Night SmackDown. Make sure you're there for that chat. It's always a good time. Sunday afternoon, we are also going to be having WrestleMania prediction show. with Just Alex. So be on the lookout for that as well. Just Alex will be having WrestleMania predictions with A&B combos and yours truly, Marked by Wrestling. Of course, Monday Night Raw with A&B combos. And next Tuesday, baby, it's the go home show for Stand and Deliver. And it's going to be fire. Absolutely. Yes, George, you've got a good hunch there. Roxanne could pick Lola Vice as a tag partner. She ain't doing anything right now, so she could slide right in there. Be interested to see where we go with that. Now, great show tonight. I'm loving it. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, listen, it carried my attention. Lots of build for what's to come. We're getting a 4-way title match for the women's championship at Stand and Deliver. Julia is now back in the mix. We're getting that 3-way for the men's title. Who knows if DarkState will be involved in that at Stand and Deliver in any way. It's, man, WrestleMania weekend is going to be a lot of fun, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yes, Daredevil fans, thank you, Dawsey. Don't forget Daredevil Born Again, only 2 episodes left of the season. Been a great revival. As far as Marvel properties go, that one has been fantastic. Argue with the wall if you disagree with me. And so, yeah, Stand and Deliver on Saturday morning. The 19th is going to be amazing. We have WrestleMania Saturday that night and WrestleMania Sunday after Easter. Go thank Jesus for being resurrected and then come back and watch WrestleMania Sunday night. And we are going to have a good time. So thank you guys once again for being here with Mark here at Marked by Wrestling. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, guys. It's okay to be excited about wrestling. It's okay to be positive. It's okay to love this stuff because when we choose to engage with it on that level, it's so much better, so much more enjoyable. Don't let the rest of the internet pull you down into thoughts of cynicism. Cynicism does nothing but waste your time and kill your joy. And we don't do that here. We keep joy alive. We water that plant. We let that sucker grow, and we pick the fruit off of it every single week here with NXT and anytime we get to review anything else. So I want to give you guys an episode of Marked by Wrestling, a standalone video between now and Mania, talking about a certain trend that happens every 10 WrestleManias that I'm very excited about doing, and I want to get that to you before WrestleMania. So I'm going to get to work on that. Be on the lookout for that. Make sure you subscribe, notified, so you get that when it comes out. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the chat throughout the week, but if not, see you right here next week for NXT Go Home Show for Stand and Deliver Marked by Wrestling. Love you guys so much. Take care. Have a great night. Be good to each other, and don't forget to believe. Holler at you later.